We've got a couple of minutes from December 11th and not January 2nd. Did everybody take a look at December 11th board minutes? If so, and we're all set, I would entertain a motion to accept.
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? Okay, we've got organizational resolutions here. I will go through these. I think you've got copies of these. Some of these basically relate to last year so that we could get something at least on paper. So as we go through them, they may not match up to the copies you've got. However, just raise your hand or whatever if you've got a question. 2014 organizational resolutions. First, starting, resolved that the town board, town of New Hartford, does hereby establish the normal operating hours for the town of New Hartford offices to be 8 a.m. through 4 p.m. Monday through Friday during the fiscal year 2014. Resolved that Patrick M. Tiksinski, supervisor of the town of New Hartford, New York, be and hereby is authorized and directed to sign all checks for the disbursement of funds of the town of New Hartford for fiscal year 2014. Resolved that the New Hartford Town Board does hereby readopt the Town of New Hartford Employees Handbook prepared by AMTAC dated September 15, 1999, thereafter amended from time to time. Found within this manual is the official schedule of fringe benefits of non-union personnel for the 2014 year. Resolved that the New Hartford Town Board does hereby establish the mileage rate at, it was 46 cents, gentlemen. Do you want to keep it at that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll keep it at the 46 cents. For all town officials and employees performing regular duty while on business. Resolved that the following banks are official depositories of Town of Hartford: Bank of America, M&T Bank, Chase Bank, Citizens Bank, Bank of New York, NBT Bank, Adirondack Bank, HSBC, First Niagara, and Berkshire Bank. And that the town supervisor or finance director of said town be and hereby is authorized and directed to secure a pledge of security covering the maximum amount of money the town would have on deposit at any time during the fiscal 2014 year. Resolved that the town board of the town of Hartford does hereby authorize the town supervisor or finance director of said town to deposit funds not needed for immediate expenditures in interest-bearing certificates of deposit, repurchase agreements, treasury bills, money market certificates, etc. Resolved that the town board does hereby appoint Patrick M. Tiksinski as marriage officer in and for the town of New Hartford for a one-year term commencing January 1st, 2014, ending December 31st, 2014, with no remuneration. Resolved that the town board of town of New Hartford does hereby appoint the president of New Hartford Historical Society as the town's historian for fiscal year 2014 at a contractual sum of $3,700 payable to the Historical Society. Resolved that the town board does hereby confirm the supervisor's appointment of Matthew Bone III as deputy supervisor, who shall serve at the pleasure of the town supervisor. Resolved that Matthew Bone, deputy town supervisor of the said town, be and he hereby is authorized and directed to sign all checks for disbursements of funds of said town for fiscal year 2014 in the absence of the town supervisor. Resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the town supervisor or deputy supervisor to pay all bills to National Grid, Mohawk Valley Water Authority, to all telephone carriers, to the town's designated vendors for all insurance payments, to Ford Credit, to Verizon Online, to Time Warner Cable, and to United States Postal Service electronic replenishing and postage meter without prior final audit approval by the town board. Does also authorize the town supervisor or personnel technician to pay bills expenses to the New York State and local retirement systems contributions for the town employees. Resolved that the New Hartford Town Board does hereby readopt the purchasing policies and procedural manual adopted January 1st, 1992, and revised on July 10th, 2014. Resolved that the New Hartford Town Board does hereby re-adopt the official investment policy for the town of New Hartford, originally adopted March 3rd, 1993, and in accordance with Chapter 708 of the laws of 1992, a copy of which is on file in the Finance Director's office. Resolved that the Town Board of the town of New Hartford does hereby designate the Observer Dispatch as the town's official newspaper for fiscal year 2014. Resolved that the rules of procedure, which were originally adopted April 21st, 1965, and amendments thereto are hereby affirmed and readopted by the New Hartford Town Board for fiscal year 2014 as set forth in the attached Schedule A that is made a part of this resolution. Schedule A, rules of procedure, regular meetings. The regular meetings are listed below: January 8th, February 12th, March 12th, April 9th, April 23rd, May 14th, May 28th, June, blah, blah, blah. You've got them listed there, gentlemen, with the exception of December. If we went 2 in December, we'd end up having the second one on Christmas Eve. So, do you want to have 1 in December, and then if we need it, schedule it at some date, or do you want to plug 1 in now? I mean, I can't, we did that this past year. It's hard to see that you would have so much going on that you would need back-to-back meetings.
Let's schedule it as needed.
Okay. So we'll have just the December 10th meeting. The board reserves the right to dispense with the second regularly scheduled meeting each month. To comply with the statute, the town board shall meet on or before October 5th, 2014, at which time the town clerk is required to present the town board. That's basically just saying why those meetings in October are a little bit different structure than the other ones. Special meetings. I'm not going to read through this stuff, gentlemen, you know it. Special meetings, quorum, you're familiar with. Voting upon questions, standing committees, you know the standing committees. Special committees, the town board may from time to time set up committees. The only thing I have a question of here is as we get down about a little bit more than halfway through, down to where, just below where it says, assume the duties of the chairman in his or her absence. It says if there's a maximum number of members to be determined by the department head. Do we want to keep that, or do we want to have it determined by the town board? And to go along with that, number 3 underneath, it says if there are more volunteers than openings, membership shall be determined by the department head, who shall consider volunteers. You want to leave those two with as department head or town board?
Well, have we had an issue? The department head, he may have some talented people he'd like to bring on board. They don't make any, they're recommending things, they're not approving.
That's fine. It's just in the past, we've always set a number of people on the committee, so I just wanted to make sure if we're going to stay with that, then let's get it in procedures. That's fine. Everybody else feel the same? Okay. Order of business. There's the order of business as it goes. Legal matters, again, I don't think there's anything new here. Absence of the supervisor, the deputy supervisor takes over the opening of the meeting. Members may not absent themselves for more than 10 minutes. Suspension of rules. Town board voted upon roll call results. Okay, so that is resolution number 1, or whatever you want to call it, for 2. Is there a motion to accept that resolution before we move on to the other ones? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Moving on, appointment of register and vital statistics. Okay, well, here's the resolution. The town board does hereby appoint Gail Willan Young as registrar of vital statistics for the town of New Hartford, District 3264, in which term, in accordance with law, shall be coterminous with her office as town clerk commencing January 1, 2014, ending December 31st, 2017. Motion to accept that resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Paul, second.
Second.
Second by Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Fourth resolution, I guess here. Resolved that the town board, the town of Hartford does hereby appoint, and this is for Chief Justice, gentlemen, we want to put in a name there.
Justice Workler.
William Verkler as Chief Justice for the town court for a period coterminous with his town justice position beginning January 1st, 2014, ending December 31st, 2015. Motion for that resolution.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Dave, all in favor? Aye, unanimous. Appointment of town attorney. Supervisor Taszynski appointed Herbert J. Cully as town attorney, thereafter the following resolution. Okay, resolved that the town board does hereby confirm and approve the town supervisor's appointment of Herbert J. Cully as town attorney for the town of New Hartford for his duties as outlined in the town's employee handbook prepared by Amtech. Motion to accept.
Motion.
Motion to move. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Paul
Paul moved.
made the motion, Dave seconded it.
You said a discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was continuous with that of the town supervisor should be for the 2-year, so the board changes up again.
Now, that for the justice was because his term ends at
Okay.
50. And then he's got to run for re-election. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Appointment of the zoning board of appeals chairman, right now it's Randy Bogart. Motion to reappoint him as chairman or someone else.
I'll move it for Mr. Bogart.
Second?
Second.
Second by Jim. All in favor? Aye, unanimous. Appointment of the planning board chairman, right now it's Ellis Delia. Again, this will be a 1-year term for chairman of the planning board. Motion to reappoint Ellis or someone else.
Make the motion.
Motion by Jim, second.
Second.
Second by Dave, discussion. All in favor? Aye, unanimous. Planning board member. Resolved that the town, Hartford Town Board does hereby appoint or reappoint. My understanding is that Ellen Rahal does
Does not want
want
to be reappointed.
That being the case, we did put this out at the end of November because I knew that wasn't happening. I believe you people have copies of the resumes from Vincent Salatino, or you should have. Carol should have put them in your mailbox a while ago. He is the only one that we got a,
There's Anthony Travisani also proposed.
never got. This is the only one we got, was Vincent Salatino.
I get one.
If we want to hold off on it,
How did we advertise it?
we put it on the website just before Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving here in November.
Table to between.
Here's
Somewhere
somebody.
between.
I don't have a problem with
Okay. We'll hold off till the next meeting. Okay, Alice, we reappointed, right? Planning board, moving on. Appointments, the standing committees are here, as you see them, you can read them. Ethics committee. I don't know what you want to do with the ethics committee, gentlemen.
Rich and I were working on it. Who else do we have, Ralph?
it. Dave Core.
Dave Core and Ralph, you and me.
Yeah, we really need to get that straightened out, so we'll get together on that.
We should list who the present members are.
Well, I didn't know what the board wanted to do with regards to appointments to that.
I think it's.
We already made them,
Yeah.
We did?
About 6 months ago.
Well, yeah. probably a little more than 6 months ago, but we did appoint.
Ralph Humphreys, Dave Core, and Rich.
Yeah, but that's not, that's not,
Never. No.
Make a motion, reappoint those individuals for Rich
Dave
and.
or Rich. Herb.
Who was
Well, I'm council too.
There was Councilman Woodland,
And
Ralph
Humphreys.
Humphreys,
Ralph.
Core, and Anthony Trevisani.
Oh,
No, he never, he didn't, that was,
It was
sent a
just Core,
resume for the planning
Humphreys.
board.
And,
but,
Core, Humphreys, and Woodland?
yes.
what are you reading? The minutes of an older meeting?
No, just,
Oh,
What we have.
okay.
So the Dave Core, Ralph Humphreys, and Rich Woodland. Herb will serve as counsel to that. Motion by Dave, second.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
I,
Aye, unanimous. Advisory committee, blah, blah, blah. Advisory committee on public works and supervisors. Town clerk not received any perspective, so you want to table that till the next meeting also?
that's fine.
Let's do the public works, stormwater, and, well, parks and recreation, do we have people for that?
Mike, the names that are in there are from Mike. John Pryor, Jonathan Moore, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Valutis and Marilyn Montesano.
Monticello. Motion to reappoint these people to the Parks Committee?
As stated in the resolution, yes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye, unanimous. Advisory Committee on Senior Citizens.
And those were all provided by the,
So you see them all listed here, I don't read them, gentlemen, unless you want me to. Motion to accept,
Motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye, unanimous. Police Commission, we have two positions on the Police Commission that are open by virtue of Chuck Sedella getting the, what do you want to call it, short straw when we drew these last time to stagger the years. His term is up, and Kevin Copeland's position is up because he was elected as town justice. I will nominate, I guess, where it is, appoint Chuck Sedella, so since he only had a one-year term, I think he's shown up there quite a bit, he's been doing pretty well. Second to that motion, then we'll do Copeland.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye, unanimous. Rich, do you have something for
yeah,
Kevin?
I select the appointment of James Brown from Concord Boulevard to fill the unexpired term of Kevin Copeland. I'll make that as a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does that have to be reviewed by the chief? or
Yes, it
anything?
does, subject to review by the chief. Also, Ellis Delia, his appointment representing the town of New Hartford on the Mohawk Valley Water Authority term expired at the end of 2013. I'll tell you, Ellis has done one heck of a job for us down there. I don't know how many people of you know what a job he did with regards to the reservoir and the canal, is it the Canal Authority? I mean, it was just unbelievable, and he won the case. And I'll tell you, I think he's just a true asset for the town of Hartford to have down there on the water. So, a motion to reappoint Ellis to, motion by Paul, second.
Second.
The second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. New Hartford Public Library, we have 3 positions open. You want to do that now, or you want to wait?
You can do it now.
Okay.
I've got 3 recommendations. First being Heather Mowat. Obviously, she's been on the committee, or on the library board. Credentials speak for themselves. Also, Rich Evans, These two individuals have demonstrated their willingness to operate on the budget that we provided, and also look to ways to make some money for the library through fundraising, et cetera. And certainly their heart and soul is in the New Hartford Library and its continued success. And I think they've demonstrated that over the past few years. It's been a rough go, but they've made some tremendous strides there. So Rich Evans, Heather Mowat, and also the third candidate would be Janet Hoover. In my opinion, she brings a fresh look at things. She's well-educated, very concerned with the community. She's a workshop leader with Mid-State Library. And I spoke with her personally. She's brought up some interesting points, some ideas involving the volunteers, how we can better utilize the volunteers and involve them more. I think she'd be a tremendous asset there. And those are the three names, Rich Evans, Janet Hoover, and Heather Mowat, that I would like to suggest. I think a couple of the candidates are here. You might want to, they may want to speak, I'm not sure.
Who's waving? Is that Rich?
Rich Evans and Heather.
Heather right here.
I'd also like to mention our new library director is here. She was here last month too, am I correct?
Yes, I did mention
okay. Thank you.
Board, since we do have two of the candidates, if you will, here, anybody have any questions? I know, Jim, you mentioned something to me about having a small interview, if you will, for the town board or something for these.
Well, yeah, I called all of the candidates, if you will, and reviewed, the resumes and asked all the questions and so forth. Unfortunately, a couple of them can't make it out of the pool of candidates. One backed out, wasn't interested. That's Donald DeRosa. Mr. Bolton is in Colorado Springs. He's unable to attend tonight. I'll just make a statement on his behalf so everybody has a consensus of his thoughts. He's looking to improve communication with the residents from the town library. He also has a thought of, if there's any midterm positions vacant, he'd like that to be presented to the board, town board for appointment, rather than to the library. But he said also too, if he's unable to be on the library, that he'd still like to be considered for other committees for the town. He's very passionate about the community, so just again, something brief on his behalf. Again, and Judith too, she's had other obligations tonight, but as everybody saw her resume, former director and so forth, she's willing to help out with the budgets and so forth, and looking to bring different programs to the library, and everybody seems to want to move forward in a more positive light. And if there's can't say that.
Well, I want to say that it's encouraging to see that we had so many people coming for this. And of course, as the board knows, and I'm sure they agree, that it's hard to make a decision when you get so many, and then you got to narrow it down to 3 positions. However, just so everybody knows, we do keep all of these resumes. We keep them, we file them, whether it's for the library board, the zoning board, or the planning board. We keep all of the resumes on file, and when another position opens up, we do pull them out and see if those people are interested. That being said, before we go for a motion on this, anybody else?
I spoke to Judith German. She had an excellent resume. I mean, she was really compassionate about the library. I think she's got a lot of experience that could really help out. I know she ran a bigger library than the New Hartford one, but I don't know, I think she'd be an asset somehow to the library. I think Heather, again, is another asset to the committee. She brings the CPA background. She's been helping with the finances there. So, I mean, those are the 2 people that I spoke to that really seem to Make it happen for us,
Motion, Rich, I'm sorry,
I'll make the motion, I'm good with those.
3.
I'll second.
The 3 that Dave mentioned, I think. Second by Dave. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was that in mine? Unanimous? Okay. Vehicle usage. 4 people submitted requests to use the town vehicle. This is basically to take it home. Chris Moran with the Highway Department, Michael Jeffrey, Parks Director John Cunningham, head of the Rec Center, and Joe Booth, who's our codes officer. Motion to accept these.
Make a motion.
Second.
Discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Training school. Resolved that the town board, town of New Hartford, does hereby grant permission for Gail Willonen Young to attend the 32nd Annual New York State Town Clerks Association Conference, April 27th to April 30th in Saratoga, in the New York State Tax Receiver and Tax Collectors Conference, June 8th to June 11th in Syracuse. All expenses to be paid by the town as budgeted. Further resolved that the town clerk, and she hereby is authorized to attend the business and educational meetings of Oneida County Association of Town Clerks, state-sponsored workshops, et cetera, et cetera. Motion to accept.
Move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Animal Control Shelter Service Agreement. We have a contract with Stephen Swan Society here. What is that, Mike?
That
Why-
nothing has changed. That's a contract that we have with Waterville Vet to administer emergency care to any animal that we have to take into custody.
Is that this one, or is it Stephen Swan? Isn't there 2
Stephen
separate?
Swan. Stephen Swan. One is Stephen Swan's. We have a contract with. One we have Waterville Vet that will do 24/7 emergency care.
But they're 2 separate contracts.
2 separate contracts.
Basically, I'm sorry.
Same as the previous year.
Same as the previous year. Okay, motion to accept.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the fire contracts, gentlemen, do you want to do these now? Or do you want to save them for the end? You want to do them now, we'll do them. There's only one question I have, and Gail, you might be able to help me with this. The board basically put forward where the Willowville Fire Department is now going to run their service awards program. Does that mean that they will be writing the checks, or do we still continue to write the checks because we're responsible?
I would think that we're still writing the checks, but that's something I would really need to verify.
The reason being, gentlemen, is because we put in $71,000 for the service awards program. This was a problem in the past because we don't include that in the contract. So the contract I've got is exclusive of that amount. If for some reason it comes out that we do give it to them, then we will just make another board resolution at that point and do it, okay? So, we'll move forward on these fire contracts. First contract, Village of New Hartford, Districts 1 and 2. That contract amount is $635,629. Do you have the budget with you?
Yeah.
Could you just double check these as we go through, make sure that I didn't, and that's for January 1st to December 31st of 2014. We have a couple of different contracts, 2 direct contracts for us. You want to do these individually? Motion by Dave to accept the New Hartford.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, gentlemen, you all have to sign these. And there's 2, so I ask you to sign both of these contracts because we get one, the village gets one, and sometimes they get lost if we only sign one. Okay. Village of New Hartford, District 3.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second by Paul. Bullaville Fire Department. We have, that contract amount, just so that everybody knows, in case we have to do it, is on this contract at $315,400. Who is that? Jim?
Yeah.
Motion by Jim,
Motion, yep.
second.
Second.
Second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. The last one is New York Mills. This one is not stapled, gentlemen, so just make sure that I get all the pages back before. New York Mills is in the amount of $135,600.
That is the motion.
Motion by Paul, second.
Second.
Second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, gentlemen, as you're signing those. Moving on. Okay, we've got the wages here now. I believe that the ones, the one, I think the copy you've got are the old wages.
Right.
The one I got is the new wages. And you have the new wages in front of you. So, taking the new wages that you've got in front of you now, do we have a motion to accept those, and then Gail will put those into the resolution?
I'll move the amended wage scale as attached separately. I believe it's a separate document.
Yes. Second to that,
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That's it. Right, Gal? That's it for the organizational. Now, I'm going to find my agenda here. Whew. All right. Now to the standing committees. Town Clerk Rich Woodland.
The resolution of the dog quarantine is resolved in accordance with the local law number 7 of 2010, chapter 56, dogs and pets of the town code of the town of New Hartford, does hereby institute a quarantine of dogs for the protection of deer in the town of New Hartford. All dogs shall be securely confined during the period of time beginning 24 hours after publication of the legal notice in the town's official newspaper and continuing until April 15, 2013.
That should be 14.
Town clerk is hereby authorized and direct to publish such legal notice in the Observer Dispatch on January 15, 2014. Any dog found chasing or roaring a deer shall be quarantined. Said quarantine could be seized. A dog that attacks a deer at any time shall be in violation of this law and shall be subject to fines. I'll go ahead and move that.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Next one is the Associated Towns meetings in February in New York City. We have authorization for town officials to attend and to name the delegate and an alternate.
All right, who wants to go? Herb wants to go, Paul wants to go, Rich wants to go. Matt, did you mention that you wanna go?
Yeah, I just,
Rick wants to go. Matt, did you wanna go?
Supposing it snows, Rick.
That's, they're getting more snow down there, you know. You might get caught in the
I'm
work.
concerned about the brine.
All right, so what do we got? We got Matt, we got Herb, we got Rich, we got Paul,
want to be attentive if possible.
Jim.
What
Okay,
about,
Jim?
did Joe do his classes down there?
Joe
That'd be
who?
the time to do his-
It's up to Joe if he wants to. Did you
You
wanna
wanna
go
do-
to New York?
Yes.
Okay. Joe Booth? Rick Sherman? Anyone else? Okay.
So it's Herb, Paul, Rich Woodland, Matt, Jim, Joe Booth, and Rick Sherman.
I think that's it, yeah. Okay.
Who's gonna be the delegate
What delegate?
to vote at the business meeting?
Who's gonna stay down there until Wednesday? We'll make it simple. You're a delegate. Congratulations.
Who's the alternate?
Who might stay down there until Wednesday? You're gonna be down there too? Okay, Rich is our alternate.
Okay.
All in favor of those?
Aye.
All right. Okay, keep going, Rich. You got some more here?
Remind you, we have the intermunicipal agreement with the village for code enforcement. Any update on that?
No.
Joe, did you hear anything on that?
I'm sorry?
The contract between the village and the town for codes enforcement?
I didn't.
Okay. Go ahead.
We have a disposal of the DEC computer equipment.
Yeah, Matt was in and helped us with the new computer system. We have a licensed sales equipment disposal waiver form because the computer system that we were using for the sale of hunting, fishing, bow hunting, archery was DEC equipment that they loaned to us. They want to know whether we're going to recycle it, donate it to a charitable organization, or dispose of it in a landfill. And I have to have the form into the state by January 14th.
I got a feeling it's going
Just
to
dispose
the
of the
landfill. I sort of had my feelings you were going to say that.
Could I have a board resolution to that?
Yep, motion,
I'll move it.
second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye, unanimous?
We got one more in there.
Go ahead.
We have, number 5 would be the Oneida County Association of Towns Dinner, January 21st in Yorkville, for permission to attend. The assessor was, wanted to go, and the highway superintendent, any other officials wanted to attend.
Is that the one that the county executive is speaking in?
I'd like to go.
Herb?
Matt?
Paul?
I'll go also.
Dave will go, I'll go,
Yeah.
Jim,
Just Matt?
Paul.
Everybody.
We got 6 up here. Rick wants to go.
Okay.
It doesn't
January
smell.
21st, you said.
Anyone else want to go? Okay, you got all those? You want to go? The 6 up here at the table, and then Rick. And are you going? Yeah.
No,
Anybody?
I'm not.
All right, anything else, Rich, before we move on? Okay. Public Safety Courts Committee, Dave Reynolds.
You have the police report as provided by the chief. I don't believe there's any questions. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to really look at it. That's all I have.
We got a DWI contract. If I can
I
find
don't have it.
Yeah, we do.
I don't have it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I had it here a minute ago. Here it is, Oneida County Stop DWI Program, okay? There was a paragraph in here, I don't know if you saw it, however, we did exit out. It had to do with the requirement that towns would have to agreed to participate in the mobile data terminal system. So that's been crossed out and has been waived by the county subsequently anyway. So, that being said, is there a motion to accept the contract so we can get it down to the county? So I can sign it?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? How many we got here, Mike? 5. 5? I'll do them later. Okay, library committee we already took care of, right? Or is this something different? Okay. Motor pool,
We did on
we did
Lucy.
that. Public Works and Sewer Committee, Councilman Michion.
Yeah, we have stormwater in Jordan Road and Overbrook Circle. Rick's looking for permission to get one survey done so he can continue work. I believe the easements were already taken care of. Looking for a motion to order a survey.
How much is that going to cost?
Well, I was gonna say the price wasn't determined yet. He was gonna get a price on it. I don't know if you wanna put a cap on it or.
What does it usually cost?
I'm not even sure what we have to survey.
500 to 5,000, depends what you're talking about.
Is that what it is?
Motion, this is a project that we've been working on for a while, gentlemen, it needs to get done, so Paul just made a motion, we'll cap it at $10,000 or something, okay? Because we need to get it done. Paul made the motion.
Make a motion,
Second.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
We got the sewer contract from Green Mountain, needs a signature. I have a draft copy here. Her review.
That was for what? If that's for the,
That was given to her to look at, make sure it was okay. That's the sewer work that's
Oh,
being
that's the
done.
one you showed me before.
That's the one I
Yeah.
showed you, for Arlington Terrace, Higbee Road, that whole area up there. It was a sewer work that was, in the budget for 2013.
okay.
Yeah, I've already seen this.
And it's been passed, the budget, it went out to bid with the county. Just need the contract signed.
Can I sign this because it says draft on it?
Cross out. Is this the only one you have, Rick?
Yes.
I'll cross out draft and just sign it.
Motion to accept the Green Mountain contract.
Make a motion.
Paul, second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Brian contract.
Yeah, we currently don't have Brian contracts right now, but want to discuss the pricing for that.
Yeah, Dan, I talked with Rick, and then I gave Dan the information Rick gave me. He worked up some numbers for me and did a nice job with it. Basically, because I know the last time this was presented to the board, the only thing that we had in there was the direct cost of the materials. This includes not only the direct cost of the materials, but also the,
It's the drawing.
is this okay? Did you review this?
Yeah, I've made changes and put in there.
This also includes indirect costs such as water, electric, machine maintenance, upkeep, labor and overhead, and it also includes debt service, which we've worked out. So the total would come to 25.6 cents a gallon. Discussion?
With the labor that's on there, like Rick's salary is fixed. So you wouldn't be charged an hourly rate for that anyway, would you?
Well, the only thing is because, should I, excuse me, Bill, should I cross this
Yeah.
out just a minute? The only thing is that we've had a discussion in the past with regards to the possibility of putting on a deputy superintendent, which means that, you know, Rick's time is full now, which is the reason why we would be putting on a deputy. then we should charge some of that off. Hi, Rick. Go ahead.
The labor of this is very, very minimal. It's like less than 5 minutes to load the hopper with salt. And it's all, you push a button and start and the machine does the rest. Last night I made 1,000 gallons. I went in there, we loaded the hopper up, I pushed the button, I went in and worked on paperwork. 35 minutes later I went out, the machine made 1,000 gallons. I pushed the button again, went back in, did my paperwork. 35 minutes later I had another 1,000 gallons made. It makes it and it automatically puts it out the storage in the tank. So labor is very, very minimal. It's hardly anything.
He added a penny.
And the biggest one is the debit service.
The debt service?
Yeah,
6 cents.
Yeah.
the life of the machine, the reason why I expect this is a good 15 to 20 years. The other thing is, I looked at the brine for the town of Hartford when I first started talking about it, because the savings was gonna be for us. Not knowingly, there's gonna be this much interest out there to become a hub and sell it. But my big savings is gonna be in our salt. And like I said, I hope to cut our salt budget right in half, if not a little more than half. That's where our savings is gonna be.
No, and that's exactly why the board voted to do this. However, and boards, you can make up your own mind. But my feelings is that we did this to save our taxpayers money.
Right.
To go back out and charge other municipalities only the cost of the materials, without having some type of cost to offset the equipment that we paid for, I don't think is fair to the taxpayers of the town of New Hartford. If this was a contract with the two villages that are located within the town, since those people, residents, do pay taxes to the town, I wouldn't have a problem with just doing direct materials. But if they're outside the town of New Hartford, I feel that they've got to share in the cost of the equipment that's been purchased. At least that's my feeling, gentlemen. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. If I could find somebody we could buy brine from without buying the equipment, I'd say let's sell the equipment and go buy the brine from them. You know, there's a cost involved here, gentlemen, and I know what Rick's saying with regards to the brine maker itself is maybe 15 years. I hate to sit here and say that something's going to last 15 years. We don't know what it's going to do. But it's up to you, gentlemen, whatever you want to do. However, I think it's not fair to the residents if we don't put something in there to recoup our costs.
What are the other costs that are here?
Such as,
Well, it says other costs, 14 cents, or else I'm just not reading them. But it's 10 cents for material costs, and you have a labor of 1.5 cents, and then you got 6 cents for the debt service.
well, it's total other costs. So in other words, your other costs start, these are the direct costs up above, which
Right,
is,
which is your 10 cents
right.
per gallon.
And then the other costs add another .148 onto it, giving a total of .256. That's a total.
Right, the total's right here.
Right, and the total represents these expenses up here, your water, the manpower, and the debt service.
Rick, what's the going, who else is selling it and what are they selling it for?
Village of Hamilton has been selling it now for about 4 years. They get 7 cents a gallon, plus the price of mag chloride. The machine keeps track of the customer and how many gallons they use.
All right, I'm sorry, 7 cents a gallon
7 cents a gallon,
plus,
plus the mag chloride that they use for colder temperatures. But the individual hauls their salt to him. He doesn't use his salt. So he has an inventory of salt coming in, gallons of brine going out from that salt.
so he's got a separate pile of salt that
I didn't want
he has to take care of.
Right, but with the salt, if you take the product and the mag chloride, he's in a ballpark of 17 to 19 cents a gallon. I talked to Henderson, who installed ours. They installed the machines throughout the New York, Canada, Kingston, down in New Jersey, and he said the going rate of the ones he's installed, upstate is 17 to 20 cents a gallon. It's 25 cents a gallon around the city because it costs more to ship the salt in. New Jersey is 35 cents a gallon because it's cost, again, that much more to ship the salt to a city. That's, Casanova has bought their brine this year from Village of Hamilton, and in a month and a half, he's gone through 30,000 gallons already.
The thing of it is that I don't see any reason why we should be in the market of selling it anyway, unless we're using this to offset the cost of the equipment. If we're not doing that, I would say, why sell it at all? We bought it to use it for the town, and why go out? We're not the county of Oneida who says we'll go out and share it. I'm willing to share it on a direct cost basis with the villages, but I see no reason why we should be going out and expending the life of our equipment for these other towns. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you want to charge a fee, let's charge a fee to help offset our cost of the equipment.
So how much is revenue, I mean profit?
None.
Out of this 25?
There's no profit.
It just
This is what
pays
we're
back
going to
on
have to
equipment.
pay. Now, if you want to go from the approach that Rick's time is not worth anything, then we could take out that penny. But other than that, we have to pay all of these costs. There's
We've
no
got the debt
profit.
service anyways.
Yeah, whether it's for us or we sell it, makes sense.
Yeah, but why, but again, why are we letting them not pay part of the cost of the
So should we
equipment?
split the debt service in half then?
No, because we're doing it by per gallon anyway, also it's already prorated. Whatever they use is what they pay for, okay? And what percentage are you gonna use? What happens if another municipality uses 75% of the brine and we say, well, we're gonna split it in half? This way, it's automatically prorated when you do it by gallon, because if they buy 100,000 gallons, that's what they're gonna pay, whether it's 5%, 10%, or 50%.
But I think there's an advantage to us sharing our brine.
With who?
Well, with anybody that wants to buy.
Why? There's no cost savings unless we get something back on the debt service. And as a matter of fact, we're using our equipment, and as anybody will tell you, the more you use equipment, the faster it goes, it wears out. So I don't see any advantage to putting this out to any other community. Unless we're getting, hold on a second, Mike. Unless we're getting something back to pay for the cost of that equipment. I mean, that's the only thing, to me, makes sense, and maybe I'm missing some. Go ahead, man.
Does the cost of materials go down in quantity?
What was the question?
Does the cost of materials go down when we buy more? Like salt or this?
No, because the salt is the price for
By
the
ton,
year,
right?
it's contract. This year it's $39.64, which went down from last year. And the mag chloride is at per gallon.
But if we buy 50 gallons, it's the same as if we buy
Yes.
200 gallons.
Yes. I just took a load in yesterday and I took 4,500 gallons in to fill the tank.
But what you're saying, Rick, is we got the capacity to make more.
Correct.
I think it boils down to two things. One, we could keep it for ourselves, like Pat said, mentioned. And two, what are the other towns willing to pay? And if it's in that demand, are they gonna pay 35 cents? I mean, Rick, you
No.
could probably answer that. So,
If they pay 25 cents or more,
They might just well keep the salt.
Might as well just continue putting salt down.
that I think answers the question. We don't do it. Keep it for ourselves. Because you can't make money on it. There's no sense doing it. And if you can't get a buyer.
And it's not that this is profit, there's no profit in it.
Right.
This is what we're gonna be paying.
Right, that's why I asked the question, because if.
But I'd like to at least recoup our costs. Why should we take a loss for other municipalities? We've done it in the past, and I've always objected to that.
We have to make a profit.
I just got a question, I know we purchased it already, but is there any intermunicipality grants that would pay for that unit, so we pay the bond off? Because I know if you do a lot of things, if you work together, they give you state grant money.
Yeah, normally you've got to apply for them before you go ahead and do it.
Okay. I didn't know.
I've already applied.
Did you?
Yes, I did, to see if there is a grant out there, because we would be sharing it with other people, just like our fuel. If you share the fuel, you get a grant for
Right.
that dispenser.
Any
If that comes along, then I don't have a problem with it.
What if the debt service, if we cut the debt service in half and go with 14 years instead of 7?
Then you're taxing our kids.
That hasn't been determined yet.
First of all, you know, you can cut it. Or certain things you can take the main machine and extend it out. Okay?
Right.
The ones that go on a truck are not
And that those,
not enough money to extend out more than 7 years.
right, and that's our equipment. That's our trucks. That stuff is in our trucks.
Right. So you can't extend it out. So basically, I think probably the most you would extend it out is, even if you went 15 on the big one, would be probably be about 11 or 12 years. Because you
Right.
working on it. So then what's that come out to be, Danny?
What's that? If we did it over a longer period,
Instead of 7 years, if we went to 12 years.
I have to figure, what about the maintenance and upkeep, the 5 cents? Is that, I'm not sure, Rick, how you came up with the 5 cents for the maintenance and upkeep? Can you hear me?
He's wondering about the 5 cents for maintenance and upkeep, where you got that figure, Rick.
Well, I think that was
The 5 cents for the maintenance and upkeep was pretty much something to go back towards that machine for maintenance and upkeep. And part of that was
He's wondering how you arrived at 5 cents.
I'm just wondering if is that a good number, or, you know, can that be less?
Well, I think that was supposed to take the
Isn't that
place
where-
of the depreciation.
Yeah, isn't that where we're?
It was one or the other. I mean, I don't think we take both. If we take the maintenance and upkeep, then
That's not true. You depreciate an asset, but if it breaks down, you're going to have repairs and maintenance to it. That's separate. They're two different things.
right, but with the depreciation, isn't it gonna cost us money? I mean, if we have the upkeep to keep the machine going, I mean,
There's a cost to buy it.
right.
There's another cost to maintain it and have repairs in case you, what if it breaks down?
Well, then we got the upkeep money coming in for that. That's what the upkeep is supposed to be.
And what about the debt?
Well, the machine's ours. We're using it for our town anyway.
Right. And you want somebody else to use it for free.
Well, they're not
You don't
using it
want
for
them-
free because they're pitching in for the maintenance
But
that we would have to pay.
they're going to use our equipment for nothing. You want our residents to pay for equipment so other towns can come up here and just pay the cost of the brand.
No, because we're getting the maintenance and upkeep.
That
Then we
maintenance
have to
has
pay.
nothing to do with the debt service, Paul.
Right, but that's a huge number.
That's right.
5 cents a gallon is a huge number.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm totally against letting other towns use it. It is a big number. I agree with you.
But they're paying it though.
They are not paying it. Well, they're paying it if you go with
Yeah, if they
25.
pay, they're paying the 5 cents. So right now, if we don't do this and our machine breaks, town of New Hartford residents pay out of tax dollars to fix the machine.
Right.
This way here, we're gonna have a reserve of money we should have to fix our machine, so we'd have no maintenance costs throughout the 7 years or 10 years that we do it. I mean, we still paid for the machine, but we got upkeep money there to take care of the
That's
machine.
right. And there is upkeep to the machine, whether you own it or you don't own it, okay? That's a separate item.
But that's our benefit, I think. That's,
Well, I disagree, Paul, because maintenance and repair is totally different than the cost of the equipment itself.
Going back to the figure,
I don't know, that's what Dan said.
I'm sorry,
Rick?
go ahead.
the debit service, that
Debt
figure,
service?
the machine cost $91,571. The $100,000 went into our trucks to put the product down. So why would can't we use that $91,571 as the debt for making the brine? Because that's what the machine
Well, I
costs.
mean, we did, the debt is taken out on the whole, we took out 191,000, 200,000 on debt.
Figure it out on 91 and see what it comes up to.
Well, if you did it over 12 years at 200, it would knock the 6.6 cents down to 3.7 cents.
Try 91,000, see what it comes out to.
Yeah, because the other trucks we're actually not using. That's our stuff.
To be competitive with everybody else, it's actually at 20 cents.
Right, listen, we're not General Motors, we're not out here to try and make sales, okay? We're a town, and we're trying to save our residents money. Damn the other communities, all right? I'll say it, all right? I'm not concerned about any other town in this county, state, country. My concern as a town supervisor is for the town of New Hartford and the town residents. That's all I care about. Someday, if I ever make it to be President of the United States, I'll be concerned about everybody else in this country, all right?
Write that down.
Don't quote me on it.
You're on tape.
The Attorney General.
Hey, there's an open, Chris Christie's in trouble.
Well, out of this whole
Big
thing,
trouble.
Big time.
Hold on a second, let's let Dan figure out what this is. Maybe he'll resolve it.
Well, the going price is like 17, 18 cents, and we're looking at 25, 26 cents.
Well, wait, let's let Dan figure out what this is at 91.
And I think there still is an advantage to share services with other municipalities.
What?
They share services with us in terms of equipment and manpower on various occasions. I don't know exactly how those numbers shake out, but I think this is a classic example of the ability to share service. And I think we should strive to protect ourselves, but hit it down so that we're not making a huge profit on it, but we're covering costs.
We're not making a profit. Let's get this straight. There is no profit here, gentlemen.
no, I agree. I just think that
These are
there is a
actual
benefit
costs.
though.
2.8 cents.
2.8 cents, which will bring that down to what?
We'll bring it down cents.
That's at the 91,000.
Wait a minute. Yep.
And is that over how many years?
7.
Okay.
If we did a 12, what is it?
Well, wait a minute, let's see what this comes out to be, okay?
And do 8.5 too.
He's trying to add all these numbers. It's gonna come
Listen,
out higher.
91,000 is fine anyway, because that's what the machine costs.
22 cents.
Okay.
22.1.
Do it over 15 years, see what it comes out to. No, do it over 12 years, I'm sorry, do it over 12 years, see what it comes to.
Uh, 1.7 cents.
So now we're down to about 21 cents. 20 cents, 20.3 cents. 21 cents. 20.3 cents.
20.3.
Yeah, about 21 cents.
Who are you fighting for? The Valley? You got somebody down there? Huh?
No, I
You want
think we
you
are.
want Alien to get our stuff for nothing?
I just think we're arguing.
I wonder how much equipment we share with Alien down there.
No. No,
We got 20.3 cents, gentlemen. Going once? What am I bid?
I just like to add the upkeep and the maintenance. If we can generate a reserve account to pay for that, that is a benefit to the town, I feel. I mean, that's,
We already knocked it down by 6 cents.
Rick, do you have a feel for maintenance and upkeep? I mean, I know you came up with 5 cents. Have you talked to the Brine outfit and?
Well, that 5 cents also, you know, we got billing in there.
You got who?
We have to bill it. So that the machine computer talks to my computer, just like our fuel does, and we get a monthly bill or a season bill, however we want to do it. So there's some, that's also figured in that 5 cents.
Can we reduce that any?
Wait a minute, gentlemen, you're talking to a department head to put these numbers together, and now we're questioning it to reduce the cost so that other municipalities could
No, that's
could
not
save
what,
money?
that's not what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
why are you
wondering-
questioning the 5 cents rate that Rick already came up
I'm
with?
just wondering, as we've said before, how we came to that 5 cents.
We're at
All right, we're down to
20.3 cents, Rick.
Take that penny out for me.
Now with that raise you got,
Can we go 20 cents?
even,
Yeah.
whatever you wanna do, board.
Wait, these numbers are flying around here. So if we get 20 cents, that's our cost, right?
Yep.
So where do we gain here?
Well, we're getting maintenance and upkeep that we'd have to pay if our machine broke down. And then we're also gaining money on our $91,000 bond because we wouldn't have that at all. So what do we have there total? What was the total one line number per gallon? It was
1.3.
all right, so
1.7.
we're getting 6.7 cents on every true 10 cents we spend a gallon. That's what we're getting. So this 6.3 cents a gallon, we're not gonna get if we don't give it out. And then we still got upkeep maintenance, so say that something breaks down, I know it's more wear and tear, but something breaks down, then we have to pay for it out of our own pocket. This way here, we should have a reserve account to pay for that upkeep. And again, this doesn't have to be a 10-year contract. If we did it one season, see how it works, to see.
You know, I think that's a
we
good.
We're not
generate.
doing tenure.
No.
No, I'm saying it isn't.
It isn't.
It isn't, and what we do is if we try it for the season, we only got a few months left. See how it works and see if we do generate a reserve account for maintenance and see if we bring money in that way. And
I think
Well, it
it's-
would be a
it's-
one-year contract.
It's a 1 year, we
Right,
make no
so it'd be
obligation.
from, till December of
And we
2014.
make no
Right.
obligation as to quantity or quality or anything.
correct.
So we do have some sharing of the cost of the equipment, which I would insist upon having. As Paul said, some sharing of the maintenance, at least it's something.
Make a motion, we go to 20 cents.
I second it.
Discussion?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm still not comfortable, because I guess, I just wanna make sure, like you said, Pat, the residents are covered. And, you know, if we're gonna do this, I wanna make sure there's something in it that's gonna offset this.
Well, to the extent of whatever we sell this brine, 1.7 cents for every gallon is gonna go towards our debt service.
And we have the 5 cents a gallon for our maintenance and upkeep to keep the machine going. So, how many gallons do you believe you're gonna sell, Rick?
500,000.
Okay.
I asked him, I didn't come up with that out of my head. I know you're giving me that look.
That's all well and good. Rick, how many gallons are we gonna sell?
Depending on the winter, the conditions, my estimate with the number of customers that are interested, I'd say between 350 and 500. That's a big margin, but you gotta start something, you know, I don't know.
500 gallons?
Yeah. Oh,
It could be
what
more
are
than
you
that.
folks doing?
I need something signed for it.
School.
Letting them know.
White school. Whitesboro School,
What is it for?
that they were here.
Just documenting that they
Oh,
were here and
yeah.
attended the meeting. Can anybody sign? Can you give us a brief synopsis of what you've learned?
Isn't Whitestown having their board meeting tonight?
Canceled.
Ours is second choice. Ours is a lot more fun here.
All right.
I love you,
You guys are cool.
Did you learn anything tonight? Yeah, we did.
About salt. That's it.
Have a good night. All right. We got a motion, a second. Discussion.
Well, I forget how many gallons?
300 to 500, 350 to 5, you just said.
It's 25 grand.
350,000.
Make 25 grand. 5 cents times 500,000 gallons is 25 grand.
Yeah, it's a huge dollar we're bringing in.
Well, if the whole 500,000 goes to somebody else, we're gonna be using part of that 500,000.
That's what I'm asking, what do you think we're gonna generate for other towns? I mean, how much would we use? Let's put it that way, then we should track that out.
We're gonna be using, every time we go out and pre-treat before a storm, we're talking probably 7,000 gallons to do the whole town.
So if you just tell Rick how many storms we're gonna have, he'll give you
Well, I think
Right.
the point is, we've got a year to see how this goes.
Right.
And we may want to raise it a year from now.
Right, but at least we'll see something for the maintenance and upkeep, so it's not gonna be all on our shoulders.
I think considering that it's a one-year agreement, we do have something in here for that service. We'll try it for 1 year and see what happens. Motion, and in that motion, it's gonna be a one-year agreement to any municipalities, January 1st, 2014, December 31st, 2014. Anything else, Counselor, that we should have in there? Do we need anything?
Well, we've got the language, we've already done the agreement.
So you're all set? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did the board, did you see the rest of this?
You got 10 cents, it's coming right off the top.
Did you see this agreement? Did you see this?
This is
The
recovery.
contract,
Mock-up?
yeah, we saw it
Yeah.
a month ago or 2 months ago.
We had it the other time.
You're all set to go? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay. What else we got? Who's going to give this contract agreement? Where's the top page? Okay, that it? Oh,
Yes.
anything else?
No, that's it, thank you.
Thank you. Jim,
Yeah.
by the way, folks, if you don't know him, this is Jim Messler, our new councilman up in First Ward. Jim, go ahead.
All right, thanks. Just want to open up a discussion with the board members. Looking to improve the town website. Reason being is make some enhancements. Some of the thoughts that I had were having actually our images, our, photos, bios. At the one public hearing, one woman didn't even know who Rick was. He looked like. Maybe we can have all the department heads on there, like I said, a little bio. But also make the website attractive. If other companies are looking to come to this area to, they might want to check it out. Usually I'll go to the website.
I think we need a webmaster. And I think we need a whole new start.
Okay. Well,
But
that's.
I don't know that there's a webmaster there. It says the webmaster is a committee or something. I was looking at this just the other day, surprisingly.
Okay, good.
But the disclaimer in the bottom said that there's a communications committee that serves as the focal point for the website. Yet, I don't know whether we have a true webmaster anywhere. I don't know what services the library might be able to offer us.
None.
I know there are some other,
Thanks.
We're trying to do our own
I'd like to,
website right now, so.
I'd like to add something that might be valuable. Last time we went down to the town's meeting, there were some companies there that had great websites. I mean, even that, work with Facebook, work with iPads, everything. You can actually bring a browser on and everything is all developed for you, and they actually maintain it on their server. They take care of it. You get passwords, so like say councilmen want to log in and put something up or anything like that. Everybody has their own their own page and everything. And they do a service, but they have a template already because they've done it for big municipalities, and they look beautiful. And it might be something you want to look, because it's real cost effective. I mean, when we were looking at it, it was pennies on a dollar than hiring somebody to.
Who is this?
we have,
When we went down to the town's meeting, there was actually.
Last year?
Yeah, there was designers
I
there.
think I started and there was never a webmaster to finish it up. But it sits there with a .org extension on it, I think.
Yeah, but Paul's saying that
They
they provide all
They
this.
do everything.
It's the service, remember that company?
Yeah, we just signed a contract with
Topaz, digital topaz.
Yes. Well, this was, that one too they have, but this one here is more of a design page, like, they've done a lot of places, like in North Carolina and Florida for developing companies.
Why don't,
Well, at the
You know,
conference, this would be a good opportunity to zero
Yeah.
in on 2 or 3 of them and get some ideas.
Okay.
but you might wanna talk, because Liz DiGeronimo worked on that digital topaz. And we were almost to the point of converting over to that thing, and then she left. Are you familiar with the work she did on that? Maybe we should look into that too.
Yeah, I mean, is she?
Because we got it.
We're already paying for it.
Yeah.
It's a minimal charge.
Yeah. The only thing is, because it's like, it's not as interactive.
Yeah.
Then these other sites are actually interactive with the residents and stuff, like even if there's a flood thing or anything, you can actually send out emails, people can go on there and it automatically generates everything, so say there was a flooding somewhere, you can actually put an email in, it'll even text them or whatever, there's a flood in this area, you know, it's really interactive and it was so cheap, I mean, it was.
Well, that's what Liz had on, she had a stormwater system or stormwater committee prioritizations or something that she had.
Well, that's where we need to be going.
Do you wanna head up a committee, and maybe work with Matt and Paul and do something?
Yeah, I can definitely work with you, because like I said, I even looked at software for the assessor and everybody.
Yeah, if you got a good.
I got stuff at home from last year, and this year there'll probably even be more new stuff down there. I'll grab them if you're not there, and then we can work together and try to get something going. Because it'd be great, something interactive with the actual resident.
But you need to have somebody who will be responsible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just lays there and nothing happens.
Well, maybe
You need a webmaster or a tech group.
What else you got?
Second, just a thought again, looking at possibly televise the town board meetings. Reason being is we have a lot of senior citizens in the area unable to attend, and this is an opportunity to probably have our meeting loop on a public access channel. Again, even some working families with children and so forth, have an opportunity to see what's going on the town level. You might catch it in the paper, but again, it's not the real deal. I'm sure something that I would have to look at is Mike in the room and.
What do you mean it's not the real?
Well, it's not this. We don't get to hear you say you could run for president or anything. Unless you got that. Yeah, just really kind of see that, and just keep them involved. Just open the communication lines and transparency and so forth. Like I said, I've seen the Utica School Board meetings, and I thought it'd be interesting to have something like that open for whoever else thinks about it. I don't know the cost associated with doing something like that.
Well, and Rich, you probably remember this, way back when I was a controller and we were negotiating a contract with Time Warner, they actually offered to wire this room for us. I don't know if you remember that. And there was a discussion then about televising the town meetings, either this building or the other building. They were going to actually wire it for that. And I guess, and not that needs to come over to this board, but that board opted not to.
It might be good too for public hearings as well.
It's always good for transparency issues, sure.
I don't know where to go.
Time Warner, I guess would be a start.
Does anybody know of any other companies that would do anything like that? I mean, I know there's electronic companies around.
Yeah, they got video conferencing companies and stuff, but then you pay a full shot though.
Well, you're going to need to get it on the
That's
TV, which
the
is
game.
Time Warner.
So you'd rather deal with 2 vendors, deal with Time Warner.
Right, you deal with Time Warner, because they're the only ones that are going to air it for you.
How would they work with us negotiating the contract now? Would that be an opportune time to do it?
Might be. What else you got, Jim? So you're going to have to talk to them? Sure. The unfortunate part is they don't have a local office. But we've got a name for you too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone too?
He's gone. The guy down at Elmira that we were dealing
Yeah.
with, gone.
Well, we probably got a number that.
No, the office is gone.
The office is gone in Binghamton too?
North Carolina now.
good luck there.
Yeah, research.
Anyway,
That's it on my end.
is that it? Anybody else got anything else besides the committees here?
Hey, Pat,
Yeah, Mike?
with all the conversation tonight, I'm not sure if the Kirkland ACO contract was discussed. Same contract as in previous years.
I haven't gotten into it.
Okay, sorry about that.
I just wanted to make sure that the rest of the councilmen didn't have something. Actually, I was stalling for time. I wanted to sign the DWI contract. All right. You folks have nothing else, then we do have, as Mike said, we have the, this one is the Waterville contract. It's the same as last year. It provides emergency medical treatment for dogs and cats? I thought it was just cats. Or is that something else?
Yeah, dogs and cats.
Okay. Move it. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then we have the Kirkland ACO contract, which is the same as last year.
I'll move that.
Second.
Second. By Paul, all in favor? Aye. Unanimous. What'd you do with my agenda? Okay, gentlemen, we do have, this was discussed prior, as you may recall. We do have, based upon discussions that this board had in executive session, et cetera, we do have a completed PBA contract from January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2016. Basically, a summary of the terms is that it's a 3-year contract. It'll be a 3, 3, and 3 raise rate. We did make some changes with regards to the accumulation of sick days as to what gets paid out. They actually got lowered, if you will. It got changed from accumulating 200 days with the option of getting paid out for 200 days to accumulating 200 days, but you would only get have the option to get paid out actually for anything over 100 days. So gentlemen, if you have any other, that's basically the only 2 things that really came up on this. We've discussed these again in executive session when we were negotiating this. If there's no other questions, you have a copy of it. It'd be nice to get this thing settled, because we do have a payroll coming up here shortly, next week.
I make the motion.
Second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Dan, do you have anything?
Just a couple quick things to talk about. At the last board meeting, I reported on the reviews of the Justice Court for the years 2010 through 2012. I'm in the process of finalizing the same review for the year 2013, and I should be able to report on that at the next meeting in February. That's just one quick thing. The other thing is, I guess we need to discuss the status of appointing an audit firm for the auditor of the town. I guess at one of the last meetings, the existing auditor was reappointed, and I don't know where that stands. We're kind of going to get behind the 8 ball if we don't appoint an auditor by a certain point in time. The board would be responsible for doing something with the audit. So I don't know where that stands. I wasn't here when that was discussed, I guess. I was doing something with the budget.
Does this have to do with the review or audit of the elected officials' books?
No, just the overall.
Right, but that would include it.
Right.
And those are due to the state, those audits?
Technically, if an audit firm isn't appointed by January 20th, the board is responsible for doing those audits of the elected officials.
And have them into the state by when? March,
Yeah, I think so.
Gentlemen, what would you like to do?
I bet we use the same firm.
3 years.
They were here for 3 years, it was bid out twice, they won the bid twice.
I mean, my opinion is 3 years isn't really a long period of time to have an audit firm on board. And I would say, I'm in the business, usually at least 5 years. So I was kind of surprised that they weren't reappointed.
Well, the thing of it is we're only, I mean, it's not like we haven't bid it. They've done the audit, what, 3 times?
3 years.
And out of 3 times that they've done the audit, we've bid it twice. And I gotta be honest with you, gentlemen, and again, I'm speaking as somebody who used to do these audits. First-time audits takes you a lot to get accustomed to what's going on. And it's not only the CPA firm, so I'm not looking at a bias side here, but it's also our people, because every time you get a new CPA firm in there, there's a learning curve, and it's understandable. It doesn't matter how many municipalities they did, every town is different. So when a new CPA firm comes in there, there's a risk function that they have to take a look at, so they always look at more on that first year, which means they go to Gail's office, they go to Dan's office, they go to Janice, they go to everybody. As that progresses year by year, then they get a better idea of what's going on. Their degree of risk gets lower and lower, so they don't have to bother the employees that much. But it's up to you folks, whatever you want to do. As I said before, I think we at least, especially at this time of the year, most CPA firms have geared up already for audit season.
So what are we saying? No one bid it this last time?
They didn't want it.
Oh, okay.
They presented a proposal.
Right.
For us.
I think it was the same fee as
It was
last.
essentially about the same.
It's in
The library audit went up, I
A
think.
little bit, not a lot. Yeah, and we're already kind of behind the 8 ball because we're not on their, the firm that has done it, we're not on their schedule now, which we would have, they would have already come in December and done some interim work. So now if you go out to bid, you get a brand new firm, I mean, we could be doing this, who knows when, so we're kind of a little behind.
Yeah, I think we should stay with the same firm, personally.
Yes.
I mean, especially it went out to bid last year too.
Huh?
It went out to bid last year, or something like that. Is that what you said?
Well, last year we did it, or the year before?
Okay. And you said it's a minimal on the library?
Yeah, it was a few thousand, now a couple thousand.
I think it went from 5,000 to 6,500.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
And the town side stayed the same.
I think on the time and so forth, and the knowledge of them being here and doing it, I think we should go with them.
Motion?
I'll make that a motion. Absolutely.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That's for Dark Angelo. Okay.
The only other thing
go
I
ahead, Dan.
wanted to discuss was the additional bonding.
Oh, yeah, we have the cost of this. Is there anything else, and I think, did we have a bonding resolution for this when we passed it? Or not?
Brian put that.
Brian, I think we did. However, we'll make it official. Anyway, we'll make it official. Before we go out, what we would do is get a ban for this. Is there anything else that this board would like to consider doing at this point? I know Mike has brought up some stuff.
I don't have that list with me. Is Mike even here?
Mike Jeffrey?
Yeah. Question?
You had some issues that you had a list of bond.
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
Yeah, I don't have
The
it.
capital project list, paving,
You remember the amounts?
no, we wasn't prepared to talk about it tonight. apologize, but I didn't know it was on.
No.
Can we do it next meeting?
Oh, yeah.
There's gonna be,
Next meeting?
Just gotta get that bonding going for the.
Yeah. Because payments are coming due on that. Get that list, could you get that list to the board members here, Mike?
To them tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll take it up at the next board meeting. Okay. Other than that, I do have two things for executive session. I regard both union contracts, one for the dispatch, and, hold on a second, Rick, and one for the DPW and Parks contract. But
Just before you go into executive session, Paul's got 2 contracts. One for the school, for the salt. All they do is use salt, the same as we do every year. They get it for OGS price. And also the village of Yorkville, they get it from us too. And Paul's got both those contracts, I just need a signature. That we do that every year.
do you want to do those mowing contracts and stuff, or striping
We'll wait. February, March.
Good.
It's mine, Susan.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm asking you if you are.
Who's in charge of the assessment? Who was? Did you find those contracts?
No. Rick,
Yes?
those contracts? The
You
only
have
one-
them or no?
No, you gave me the one for Green Mountain, that was it.
All right.
You had them in your hand, but I don't think you handed them to me.
Are they the same terms as last year, Rick?
Same terms as last year, right? I got them right here.
Motion by Rich,
Second?
second by Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Paul, you got something before we go into exec?
Yeah, I'd like to introduce a new town assessor, Darlene Abaticola. She's here tonight with us.
This is Darlene in the front row here. You want to go through the report?
Okay.
All right, with that being
I
said.
have one item. I just wanted to update everybody. Last week I brought up the Glendale Ave extension. There was a request that we get additional information as it relates to stormwater issues that have been raised by residents. I've been in touch with Chris Lawton at DNL Engineering. He is preparing a narrative report, which hopefully I can circulate to everybody as soon as I get it.
Also, along that, I requested or inquired if there were core samples
Right,
on
I
the
think-
road. And since that, I talked to Rick, and he assures me that he has inspected and.
I personally was there, so I didn't do core samples this time, because he's putting some gravel down, I had him change it to my specs, what we do use for the town, which he did. And I observed that, I observed the rolling, we did a roll test with a loaded truck. I observed that, and I observed the pavement being laid.
Usually you get core samples when your inspector or your
Right. engineer
or your highway superintendent has not observed the construction of the road. However, in this case, Rick was there on a regular basis and took measurements and observed.
Measurements, everything was done.
So you're happy with
I was
that?
happy for our code.
I just wanted to update everybody.
What the board requested, those core samples at the last meeting.
Well, I requested if any had been taken and how it was addressed, and he's addressed my concerns.
Okay, because I thought the board said that we would like to have them
I don't remember that.
when we get to January
I
2nd.
didn't quite get that.
When we get to January 2nd board minutes, we'll get that. Okay, motion to go into executive session. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. We have the vouchers, John, folks, have you had a time to look at them, sign them?
I did.
Jim? Rich?
no, no, go ahead.
Let's get a motion to approve them. Jim, you could go through them and then we'll bring them up to my office and then Carol or somebody bring them up. Motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You can take a look at it. Okay. Anything else?